Welcome to the NFC East Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC East from the best creators in the division, including Dallas Cowboys creator Jake Tuck, Philadelphia Eagles creator Simone, New York Giants creator Kid Blue, and Washington Commanders creator Rio. Catch the NFC East Roundtable every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the NFC East Roundtable YouTube channel. What is up, NFC East football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC East Roundtable. Week 3 is in the books, and what an insane Week 3 it was. 2 winners in the division, 2 losers in the division. We break down every game in the NFC East tonight on the NFC East Roundtable, and we look forward to Week 4, where we give you our predictions and our analysis on the upcoming week. But for now, let's dive into what we saw this past weekend. Let's bring in the gang. Simone, J Tuck, KB, Rio, good to see you again. Fresh off a W. Doesn't matter who's playing QB, the Commanders getting it done. Eagles getting it done. KB, Giants didn't get it done, but maybe they get it done with their new starting quarterback. We'll talk about the breaking news.
The future.
The future.
Start
QB1. We'll talk about that throughout the show. And, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's where we start tonight because that was one of the more insane games of the weekend. Simone, it really probably would have been the most insane game if it were not for the other 3 or 4 insane games. It was just a wild Sunday, but the Eagles were certainly part of that wild Sunday. They were losing this game all the way up until they weren't. 26-7. They win it 33-26. They solidify the victory with a blocked field goal as time expires, run it back for a touchdown to lock in their 3rd W of the year to improve to 3-0. These Philadelphia Eagles continue to prove that they can win in a variety of different ways. And just when it felt like that passing game was going to be nowhere to be found, they found it in the second half. A.J. Brown comes to life. Jalen Hurts comes to life. This Eagles offense comes to life, and they stun the Rams to knock them to 2-1. Eagles improve to 3-0. Crazy, crazy game. KB, I'll start here with you on this one. What was your big takeaway from watching the Eagles staring 2-1 in the face somehow get out of that game victorious?
It just seems like an Eagles thing to do. Listen, I'll always say they're a great team. They're a good team, and good teams find ways to win games no matter what. And down 26-7, I believe it was like at halftime, Jalen Hurts had like 17 passing yards or something like that, something ridiculous. And I was like, wow, I did not expect that to happen whatsoever. But I really did not expect them to come back the way that they did. They completely like switched things up and they started passing the ball all the way around. I remember us talking last week about watch Jalen Hurts throw for over 200 yards just because we said he wasn't, and he threw for like 226 and 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, the Eagles strike back and they find a way to win. The Rams, if you're a Rams fan, my God, you got to be heartbroken with that because that game was over. It should have been over at halftime, but 2 blocked field goals, Jordan Davis running it back for the dagger. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, Eagles find ways to win all the time.
That they do. It's pretty remarkable the different ways they find within themselves to win the game. And we were talking about this passing offense, right? And we were talking about the Eagles and not having to do much to get their first 2 Ws in the way of having to throw the ball. But A.J. Brown basically has a production in this game that he had through the first 2 games. He really came to life in this one, and it felt like there was an emphasis at halftime to get A.J. Brown the ball, and that really was what wound up propelling these Eagles towards getting that W. Rio, I know you got to be watching this one maybe as sick as a Rams fan was because it just felt like the Eagles were finally going to drop one, and they didn't. And KB, you made a good point, by the way. This game could have massive seeding implications down the line here, and Rams fans got to be sick. But Rio, talk to me. You're watching this one, and I know you weren't feeling great about the Eagles finding a way to pull this one off.
It was crazy because I was at our game while we were watching the Jumbotron and the scoreboard up there, very perplexed at what was taking place in that Eagles game. And my son was hopping in his group chat with his friends and talking shit to his friend who's an Eagles fan. I'm like, son, they're not out of it until the game is over. And teams with championship pedigree always find a way. See, what happened during the Super Bowl 59 was the Chiefs transferred their blood oath magic to the Philadelphia Eagles. And now the Eagles have that bullshit. Like, the Chiefs had the most not stellar 15-2 season we've ever seen last year. They were just finding ways to escape with victory, but good teams do that. It's not always pretty. It's not beautiful. These dudes had -1 passing yards at halftime, and Hurts has a full game stats in the second half alone. Like, what do we do? They blocked 2 field goals in a game. I don't think I've ever seen 2 kicks blocked in a Madden game before. This is real life. Jordan Davis looked like he ran a 4.240, taking that back to the crib at the end of the game. I want to hate on it so bad, but you can't. They find a way to get it done. They're 3-0, while teams like the Packers, who look like the greatest show on turf versus my Commanders over a week ago, lose to the Cleveland Browns. The Eagles come back from 19 points in one half of football against one of the teams that are contending to go to the Super Bowl, and they can shut up. If it didn't snow, we would have been. I hate it here, man. Go to Tuck, man. Go.
Don't go to me.
Yeah. Oh, Jay Tuck, we'll get to you. Rio, you made a great point, though. The NFL makes no sense. It really doesn't. If you try to break down each week and then take that week into the next week, you're going to lose your mind. I know that's what I was doing this past weekend, trying to make sense of everything you're seeing. But what we can make sense of with these Eagles is the last time they played these Rams last year, twice, once in the regular season, once in the postseason, Saquon Barkley went nuclear in both games. In this game, the Rams basically took him out of the equation, 18 carries for 46 yards. That's uncharacteristic for Saquon. But Rio, you nailed it on the head. The ability for Jalen Hurts to go into the half with negative passing yards and finish this game with as good of an outing as you could hope for on any given Sunday for your QB, it's scary. And the biggest point here is they do it against a team that many think are right there with the Eagles, or maybe just a step down in terms of competing for the NFC this year. Jay Tuck, look at, we're talking about quarterbacks, the hierarchy within this division. Were you kind of stunned at Jalen Hurts' ability to grab the reins in the second half and do what he did to get that victory over LA?
No, not really. We've seen Jalen Hurts do this before, and I think, as much as we want to hate it, right, because of what the Eagles do, and Simone always does her win is a win thing, the Eagles have built their team for this, right? This is why they go out and they make, all these acquisitions, why they're aggressive in the draft, because me personally, I'm always a Jimmy's and Joe's guy over X and O's. And the thing that keeps the Eagles afloat is, like you said, Z-Bot, if Saquon's having a bad game, well, then that's when A.J. Brown might show up. If A.J. Brown's having a bad game, then that's when Smitty can show up. Or is Jalen Hurts, or the offense is struggling, defense steps up versus Kansas City and gets this interception or fumble from the Dallas Cowboys or the Chiefs to change the course of the thing. But in this game, it was special teams that changed the course of the tide, right? And this is why you go and get players like Jordan Davis and so on to have an impact. So you really can't fault the Eagles for doing this. It's frustrating because the Rams really had this game in the bag, but it's never over until it's over, because this team is so overwhelmed with talent. Things can always take a turn for the worst. And they have another tough game versus Tampa, which we'll talk about. But I'm not surprised. It wasn't like Jalen Hurts went out there and just shredded up the Rams. Let's not do that. A lot of it was yak. But he went out there, led this team to victory. And the thing I didn't know until Simone said it pre-show, that he must have ripped into the offensive coordinator. Those are the things that I like from leadership, right? Don't just sit back and let this team kind of falter or offense struggle, take the high road. Say, hey, man, what the hell are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Because we all saw the Eagles offense for the past 2 to 3 weeks. It hasn't looked like it should look. So kudos to Jalen Hurts for going out there and speaking up and saying, nah, we need to change this up. Now, we'll see if that's able to continue versus other opponents. But right now they're 3-0, and they beat 3 quality opponents in 3 quality games. So, tip of the cap to the Eagles for now.
Simone, a win is a win, but some wins are more special than others, and that certainly was one on Sunday. Talk to me about how you were feeling down 26-7. Talk to me about how you were feeling once you saw that field goal go south, going towards the opposite end zone. Ball game for Philly. Walk me through the emotions of Sunday's crazy game against the Rams.
Yeah, so I was actually working during the game, so I couldn't be fully locked in like I wanted to. I was actually doing a live, so y'all know I'm in Atlanta, so the Braves, they have a 44 Classic where like the top high school prospects. It's like a showcase for them. So I was doing that broadcast live while I'm trying to follow the Eagles. So when the Eagles were losing, it was actually keeping me kind of locked into work and keeping me calm. But it was like the final 3 innings of my game when the Eagles started to come back. Well, when the Eagles were on that final drive when it was 21-26. So at that point, like I was so close to losing my job because I couldn't even focus on the game I was supposed to be working. I really couldn't focus. Like everything was just spinning in my head. But I mean, what do you expect from my team? I knew we weren't going to lose to the Rams because we own the Rams. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are 4-0 against the Rams. I knew they were going to be bringing all that they had. Too bad for them that they used it all up in the first half. The Rams get up for the Eagles for whatever reason. Jared Verse said after the divisional round he couldn't sleep thinking about the next time he could play the Eagles. I don't know why we're so special to them, but they used up all their gusto and all their might in the first half. All it really took was Jalen Hurts really just pulling rank over Kevin Patullo. Offense obviously extremely conservative in the first half, and that was the biggest emphasis coming into the game this week. Kevin Patullo said a million times he was going to open the playbook up. We're going to get AJ involved. We're going to get Devontae involved. We're going to be going downfield. Explosiveness is the theme for this week. And then they came out with the same old bougie, millions of handoffs, third and long handoff, first down handoff, second down 5 handoff, third and 10 handoff. Obviously, the Saquon G wasn't working. Jalen Hurts talks to Jamal Singleton, talks to Kevin Patullo, gives them a good little conversation, and then all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts, 200-some yards, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith scores. A.J. Brown tearing it up over 100 yards. Having his way with Emmanuel Forbes, somebody we've seen him have his way with a million times. Like, there's no reason why we shouldn't have already just started the game with attacking Emmanuel Forbes against A.J. Brown. So, I mean, shoot, they had us in the first half. Thank you, Rams, because, if this was a game where they didn't, pull out all their stops and we didn't come out so behind in the first half, then we might not have never had gotten to the point where Jalen Hurts had to cuss out Kevin Patullo, and it could have been another week of the same old bullshit. But now Kevin Patullo knows, okay, I can't be playing scared. I got way too many weapons. Like A.J. Brown said, let your killers kill. Like, I don't know what his mindset is. Kevin Patullo's is playing it safe, essentially is what he said, but that's over with. Like Jalen Hurts said after the game about his conversation with Kevin Patullo that this has been an ongoing discussion. He gave him 2 quarters of this game and said, your time is up. Come on, meet me in my office. Let's have a discussion. And we see how that changed. Also, Jalen said sometimes you got to get out of character, okay? Because we know Jalen is very poised, laid back. He prides himself on that a lot. But at the end of the day, the goal is to win. So if you have to have an uncomfortable conversation mid-game, then that's what has to happen. So I'm just glad that it happened before it was too late.
God bless you for working during that game. If I had to work during that Bills-Ravens game week 1, I'd be collecting unemployment right now. So kudos to you for being able to do that.
Close, y'all. I was this close to unemployment.
Well, listen, it probably helped out towards the end when you saw they won. It probably gave you an extra
because
jolt.
Then I couldn't speak. So I'm like, there's like a video of me on TikTok. I got the headset on, and I'm just like, I couldn't speak.
Did anybody call you on it? Was anybody were they in the know? Did they know you were obviously watching the Eagles on the side?
Yeah, so we had 2 producers in there who are very chill, and then the guy who was doing color commentary. I'm just like, talk more. I just like my face is red. I couldn't handle it. So he pretty much just kind of took over the lead so I could find my breath.
Oh, crazy. Well, the Eagles found another W. They're 3-0. The Commanders, they found a W as well. No Jaden Daniels, no problem. Commanders get it done against the Las Vegas Raiders to improve to 2-1 on the back of Marcus Mariota, who had a really efficient outing against the Raiders in week 3 to help lead the Commanders to a 41-24 victory. Mariota 15-21, 207 and a touchdown. Jeremy McNichols, my kind of day, Rio. 4 carries, 78 yards and a touchdown. Not bad. You're signing up for that. Punt return as well for the Commanders, doing a little bit of everything in this game. Bouncing back after that Packers game, of course, that you mentioned, Rio. Once again, NFL is interesting. Packers, best team in the league, lose to the Browns. Got a bunch of backup quarterbacks this past weekend who looked phenomenal almost across the board. So the league is wild, and the Commanders find a way to get it done against a team that I don't know if we knew a whole lot about up until this point with the Raiders, but after their last outing, don't know if we were feeling great about them. Commanders made it known they are the superior team. KB, I'll kick it off with you here again. Commanders get it done despite not having Jaden Daniels. Were you impressed with their ability to put up 41 without having their star QB?
Absolutely. To put up a stat line like that and across the board, they were performing without their star quarterback. It really goes to show how far along that team has gone as far as developing and getting the roster set and coaching as well. So Marcus Mariota, isn't he like the perfect quarterback to back up Jaden Daniels? I mean, like you can have him run, you can have him throw in the short game. So Marcus Mariota also had a fumble in there too, but they look good. They look good out there. Jalen Lane with a punt return, and the Raiders also. The Raiders are just terrible. This was one of Geno Smith's better games as a Raider, and they still spoiled and didn't go their way. Ashton Genty, I really don't know what's going on with Ashton Genty. If anybody's watching him, let me know. I am a Boise State fan, so I watch a lot of Ashton Genty at Boise State, but I really don't care to watch any Raiders games. Shout out to Jeremy McNichols, another Boise State running back, getting into the end zone. Big touchdown, man. I've been waiting for his shine. He's been in the league for a couple of years now. But yeah, and if you look at the stat line for the receiving yards for the Commanders, they were all getting chunk plays here and there, and that's how they found a way to win. Even with Marcus Mariota, it was really impressive. They got everybody going. So shout out to the Commanders, man. Like they found a way to get it done without their star quarterback, and that really goes to show that it's not just Jaden Daniels. That team altogether is pretty damn good. So.
Mariota was doing his best Jaden Daniels impression. 6 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. Not bad coming off the bench from Mariota. You said something interesting, KB. This was about as good of a performance as you could have if you're Geno Smith. 19 of 29, 289, 3 touchdowns. You wind up losing by 17. So it's a tough spot to be in if you're the Raiders, but the Commanders took care of him with relative ease. Jay Tuck, what'd you make of Mariota's outing with the Commanders, them improving to 2-1 over the Raiders?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Because we're talking about Marcus Mariota, and also for Kid Blue, Jameis Winston, who were like the number 1-2 punching in the draft a few years ago. But Marcus Mariota, he's always been a serviceable backup. We got to see him last year when he stepped in for Daniel. So, I knew that he still has talent. He's not, equal to what Jaden Daniels has, of course, but he can run an NFL offense. But I think the surprising thing was also how the Commanders really hit the Raiders on the ground. Like you think, like KB said, Ashton Genty, Raiders, the ground game was going to be more dominant the other way. But the Commanders were showing improvement. So I think they had like 200 yards in the air, 200 on the ground, like 3 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns as well. So balanced attack. And then, of course, that Dan Quinn defense going out there getting pressure, right? I miss the days of having a defense that can go out there and get pressure. Dorrance Armstrong was playing solid, got some sacks, got some pressure. So overall, I felt like when it comes to the Eagles and also the Commanders, they just won in all 3 phases of football, which will typically get you wins on NFL Sunday. So salute to them, but it was just the Raiders. How long is Jaden Daniels going to be out, though? Because he probably needs to get back soon.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out that in a couple of days.
Yeah, okay. Right.
I don't know about. I don't sense a whole lot of confidence there, Rio.
Yeah, because you ain't Marcus Mariota for long. You ain't Marcus Mariota for long. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Marcus Mariota, right? You got Wentz rolling, you got Mac Jones cooking, so who knows? There could be something to it.
Daniel Jones,
yeah, damn right.
Oh, God.
KB, by the way, I don't even know what to say. The guy is the MVP
please.
Through 3 weeks.
Yeah, top elite quarterback Daniel Jones.
It's
Indiana Jones, and he got a good nickname now.
There's an energy. There's an energy. It's like you're in shackles when you're a New York Giant, because the moment you're free, you're the best player ever. Xavier McKinney, Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones. It doesn't matter.
Hey,
whoever leaves this place,
bro, and take off and blossom.
My goodness, even do you guys remember Eric Flowers? He was one of the worst tackles I've ever seen in my life.
It didn't work for Adoree Jackson.
Well, yeah, Adoree wasn't. It's all right because Adoree wasn't. He wasn't a Giant first.
There's always
He
a
come from the
bad
Titans.
seed in the family, you know. Somebody, it's not gonna work.
He was a Titan first. I'm talking about like Giants drafted guys. Like they go out and just are performing when they leave. It's crazy. Absolutely. It goes to show that we could draft people. We just can't develop them. We can't coach them. We can't scheme them up. And yeah, they wound up being terrible. Yeah.
Let's
Sure you guys love
Saquon
it.
go. Player of the year, Daniel Jones go, MVP. Who knows what's coming up next? Malik Neighbors, I'm sure, will be winning Offensive Player of the Year at some point somewhere else.
Yeah, with the Commanders. I already know he's itching. He can't wait to leave. He cannot wait to leave. We know he's going to go. We know he's
going
to
to save you, big dog. We're going to save you in a couple of years. Stay the course, man.
Speaking of nicknames for Daniel Jones, by the way, I had Coward on in the background earlier. He goes, "That's not Danny Dimes. That's Danny Dollars." That's what he was referring to it. Danny Dollars.
They call that boy Indiana Jones.
Do y'all play the Colts this year?
What's up, J-Duck?
The Giants play the Colts this year?
No.
Oh, that would have been
I would not want that. I would not want that at all. Oh my God, we would never hear the end of it at all. Daniel Jones never posts on social media. Ever since he's been a Colt getting wins, he's posting on social media. Like he feels alive.
That's that new relationship glow right there, man.
Right.
My gosh.
No doubt. Well, Daniel Jones feels alive. The Commanders feel alive. 2-1 after their victory over the Raiders. Simone, what did you make of the Commanders getting a W behind the back of Marcus Mariota's outing over Jaden Daniels with the injury?
I just know that I better not hear nothing about anybody can win in the Eagles offense. They don't need Jalen Hurts, okay? Because I want them to bring up this exact case scenario. But yeah, I mean, Marcus Mariota, he was a former starter in the league. He knows how to come in with a bunch of talent on his team and win a game. So, I mean, that's what you pay your backups to do. Raiders, obviously the perfect team to play against if you're Marcus Mariota in that situation. But yeah, Washington did what they had to do. So cute. At least we got Rio back on here.
That's for sure.
Oh man. I can't imagine if they lost this game. He'd be on a cereal box right now.
Hey, dog, food poisoning had me moving like Russell Wilson last week, bro. I was out for like 2 days. I took like a 2-day content hiatus, bro. I promise you, I wasn't ducking smoke, bro. I promise you, I had the same vitriol everyone else had for my team after the Packers game. Trust.
Well, Rio, you said it best. I think we all had a touch of whatever you had last week on Monday night or Sunday night rather, watching that game that we'll talk about in a minute. That's no diss at UKB. That's an equal diss to the Chiefs. That was just bad football. I don't know what we watched.
It was terrible football. Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a second. Rio, I know you said you're not certain if Jaden Daniels will be back. Will Dan Quinn be on the sideline after taking that wrecking that he took this past weekend on the sideline?
Listen, man, our prayer warriors are working hard over here right now. Every time I blink, someone's hurt. Our starting safety gone for the year. Dietrich Wise gone for the year. Austin Eckler gone for the year. Jonathan Jones is on the IR. Sam Cosmi still not back from PUP. Jaden, who was trying his best to play last week, but they decided to keep him out. Maybe I said just let Marcus have 2 revenge games. You know, he played for the Raiders and the Falcons, especially the Falcons we got coming up this week. He went AWOL on them, and that relationship was completely fractured. Let him have at it again if you have to, but and now Terry McLaurin's quad, it's scaring me because this is the soft tissue injury we were terrified of when he missed all of the summer holding in for a contract. He about to be out 4 to 6 like CD if it turns out bad when he gets a second opinion. You know, when guys go out and get a second opinion, it's not great news. But Noah Brown, who lives his entire life on the injury report, he's there. But let's talk about the actual game that got played. Marcus Mariota did what we paid him to do. We paid a guy $8 million to be the greatest spare tire in the league. You know, $8 million a year when you're called upon, perform. You put a 40 burger on the Panthers last year. You clutched it out versus the Cowboys. You did it again versus the Raiders. You got your revenge on that franchise, and the offense got their groove back. They got their mojo back, and we got a little bit of our swagger back. We still aren't moving aggressively. We're not going for 4th downs like we were last year, and we haven't got back to our full identity yet, but Marcus held it down. He almost played a flawless game. His only mistake he made the entire game, I feel him for that, bro. As a guy who hasn't run top speed for a decade, he was in the wind. He was soaring. He was flying like an eagle, no pun intended, in the open field. He was so excited. He thought he was Jaden for a second. He was back in Eugene winning an Heisman Trophy, and they knocked the ball out. That's the only mistake he made the whole game. He was comfortable. Our offensive line handled business. Josh Connerly had a much better game than he had when they was throwing him around like a jailhouse bitch versus the Green Bay Packers on Thursday night about 10 days prior. Max Crosby had nothing to do with football on Sunday. So that's growth. That's improvement. Terry McLaurin got a deep ball, and per usual, someone caught him. And debatable whether he got in or not. It was not ruled a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey got in the end zone, so play the lottery. We have the best return duo in the league. Debo is averaging like 40 yards a kick return. He's almost housed one 3 straight weeks to start the season. Our rookie 4th rounder, Jalen Lane, took a punt back from 90. He almost took another punt back, and Luke McCaffrey, if the turf monster didn't get him, he would have been one-on-one with the kicker and also running a kickback for a touchdown. So other than Matt Gay, our special teams looks perfect. So another reason to play the lottery. We actually got after the quarterback on Sunday. We sacked Geno and had him seeing ghosts for 4 quarters. Those stats he accumulated, most of it came out of the competitive portion of the game. Trey Tucker's numbers look insane. Some of that is garbage time, and some of that is just we give up big plays sometimes. We still cannot solve the mystery of how this defense can't force turnover. We are one of 3 teams in the league that has not yet forced a turnover through 3 weeks of the season. Damn. Trey Amos had about 5 attempts to catch 1 pick on 1 play and still couldn't get it done. But we're getting after the quarterback. We lost our safety for the year. We had to bring in Darnell Savage today. Maybe we give old locker room cancer C.D. Gardner-Johnson a call. I don't know. But it seems like every week we're getting hit with the injury bug. But we got right back on track. We did what we needed to do versus a team that we're superior to. This game did not do anything for the fake demon or fraud allegations. We still need to beat a varsity team. But with the Eagles looking the way they look, the Lions getting back on track, the Buccaneers, the Rams, etc., Washington has to keep pace with the best teams in this conference. You can't lose a game to a team that has no business beating you. We did what we needed to do. On to next week.
No doubt.
I think Jaden plays this week, though. I think he plays, but we'll see. They're not going to tell us anything till Friday.
Well, I got to ask you, after the Panthers beating the Falcons 30-0, do you even bother risking them?
Hey, that game was none of my business, man. This league, in 7 days, things changed drastically in this NFL. So I know they calling Penix Chocolate Tua over there, but I'm not concerned with what took place in that game because I know the Washington team I grew up to know and love, we will fix your ailments and your slumps sometimes. So let's see how we look this week. And I know Jaden's chomping at the bit to play. We're going to see how we look this week. I hope Terry's fine.
No doubt about it. All right, the 2 W's in the division recap. We'll get to the 2 losses in just a second. Before we do, let's give a big shout out to my friends over at RotoWire who have all of the NFL odds up for you this upcoming week 4. What I love about RotoWire, they give you all of the odds in real time across all the major sports books. Guys, I don't know if you saw, by the way, my Bills this weekend, 16.5-point favorites against the Saints. I mean, that ought to be illegal. That's the equivalent of like a 50-point Alabama playing, the local community college type spread. So we'll see.
I wouldn't touch that.
You might need to, reevaluate if you're getting down on that 16.5. But there's plenty of other great lines on here to get in on because there's plenty of great games this upcoming weekend. And once again, RotoWire, one of the best tools to use for not only fantasy but for betting because of stuff like this. You're able to see all of the odds in real time and shop across all the major sports books. So as you can see in front of you, Seahawks Cardinals kick things off on Thursday night. And right in front of you, you can see you get the best number for the Seahawks at Bet Rivers. You get the best number for the Cardinals at DraftKings. And you can use this every single week throughout the 2025 NFL season, along with all of the other features within a RotoWire premium subscription. So go down to the link in the description below, click that, sign up, use the promo code RTS, and that'll get you a 15% off discount on a premium RotoWire subscription. All right. Who wants to start here? Because I don't even know where to go. I mean, we could Jay Tuck, I feel like he's not feeling it. Maybe he is feeling it. Maybe he's got a rant in him. We'll see what ends up coming down the pipe here.
Yeah, much in him, y'all.
KB, though, you know what? I want to start with you because I actually sat and watched that whole game, and I need some demons exercised here because, like I said earlier, it wasn't just you. It wasn't just the Giants. It was the Chiefs. That was just 60 minutes of what am I watching? And I think that's what wound up sparking Brian Dable's decision to put in Jackson Dart going into Week 4. He'll be the starter. So I also want thoughts on that as well. Rio, I'll start with you here.
Oh my God,
Chiefs get it done. I mean, they get it done. But, I mean, it didn't really seem like it was – I don't know. It was just disgusting, this game, in so many different ways. They win 22-9. Talk to me about the Giants' performance in this one, and then talk to me about the decision to go with with Dart here less than a month into the year.
That game was an atrocity to the sport that we love. That game, I feel like my cable company owes me something. Like I need to be I need restitution, like Shannon Sharp said, for something because it was bad football. The Chiefs won, but no one won. Like we all won when that game hit 0 on the clocks at the end of the fourth quarter. Russell Wilson had a 4-play sequence that might have been like the worst 4-play sequence I've seen a quarterback ever have in the history
in the red zone.
Prime time.
He threw it away on 4th and goal, Rio.
And the Chiefs weren't doing any better. Like Mahomes was just chucking that shit up to Tyquan Thornton and praying for a good result. Like there was
and
no
got
good,
it
like,
though. And got it though.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The Chiefs are bad, and the Giants are staring the first or second overall pick in the face. But they now get some excitement because Jackson Dart's gonna come in. I intend to see Malik Neighbors be as miserable as possible for the next couple years because things are going according to plan. As long as that takes place, he's going to soar and he's going to ascend into the best receiver in the league once he gets out of poverty. Because once you leave that kind of squalor that New York is, anything is possible, bro. I'm watching Daniel Jones play MVP caliber football. Never thought I'd see the day, but I don't need to go too much further on this game because I feel like we need to wrap this segment up, this segment of the show in like 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to let Simone and Tuck go ahead and touch on this barn burner that was Giants versus Chiefs. But I'm sorry you had to watch that and care about it, KB.
Yeah,
man.
That's every week for me, buddy. That's every week.
I know this was a special week though. It felt like that was just a special type of bad, especially what Rio said that red zone sequence was something to be seen. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. Simone, Giants lose, Russell Wilson out, Jackson Dart in. Your thoughts on that whole sequence going down in East Rutherford?
I was actually having a little bit more hope for this game because, usually when two bad teams go at it, it can result in a lot of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, that wasn't the case this week. Just a terrible display of football. Like Rio said at the top, we broke the Chiefs. It's not the same over there. But I feel bad for Malik Neighbors. I mean, I want to see him, tighten up a little bit when it comes to like what you're saying. Like, just go ahead and say it's the coach. Like you saying everything, but it's the coach at this point, Malik. So just go ahead and say it's the coach. Like, he be chewing that where he be chewing that gum be having me dead. But he needs to just go ahead and say it's leadership. Like it starts from top down. Like he's beating around the bush way too much. Just go and say, like, look, you never know what happens when you cuss out a coach. You know what I mean? I think it was a little, I don't know, obviously, but I think it's a little too soon for Jackson Dart because again, like Malik is saying, like it's that's not the issue, so I don't even know like if it's gonna be a little toxic of an environment to bring Jackson Dart in. So we're gonna see. I mean, sucks to be a New York fan right now, in the words of KB.
Jay Tuck, I hate to do it to you because you're my man, but last week, Russell Wilson, 453 TDs. This week, benched. So talk to me a little bit about what you saw in the Chiefs game. And then I want you to kind of formulate the way to parlay this into the Bears game that we'll talk about in a second, because it seemed like it was a common theme here. But what did you see from Russ in your game and then this game that you think ultimately wound up resulting in him getting called to the bench, Jackson Dart in?
The Chiefs actually have a defense with the pulse. They didn't send Chris Jones packing when it was time to sign him, and they have actual corners that can cover. I think that was the main difference that I saw. But, for me, it was kind of heartbreaking because I felt like with the performance that Russ put up against the Cowboys that he would probably get the rest of this season to be their quarterback, which is completely going to tank KB's Giants. But now they're making a decision to move to Jackson Dart, man. And one of the most exciting things I saw when Jackson Dart comes to is his chain. Man, Jackson Dart's chain is dancing on his collar. He's going, diamonds are going crazy, right? So he's going to wear that when he actually plays. But they're going to make their adjustment.
He got to rock it, man. He got to rock
his chain is going crazy. I'm like, all right, bro, I see you, bro. I see you, Dart. So I think that Jackson Dart is going to give the Giants a spark, right? Is it going to be Jaden Daniels? It's probably not, right? But I think he's going to play with a little bit more swagger, more confidence. And I feel like Brian Dable was wanting to get to this because even in the game versus the Cowboys, he had those little small wrinkle plays. And for BD, he knows his clock is ticking, so he better try to find lightning in the bottle, and he's hoping that Jackson Dart can actually be that. But another thing that really stood out when it came to the Giants, and I don't think I'm gonna eat crow. I still don't really like him like that, but Cam Scatterbo is playing well. Cam Scatterbo is playing some good football.
Yeah.
But it was just those turnovers. I mean, if you go to the statistical categories, the Giants played the Chiefs very close. Like, it was a close game until the turnovers, the red zone issues that everyone spoke about. So, the Giants might have to try to find some rhythm one way or another. Defense was playing solid, but the Chiefs aren't the Chiefs right now. I know Z-Bot's probably getting excited. Wait till week 7 once they get those weapons back and things going to take off for them. But as of right now, that was a close game that the Giants really had the opportunity to win and win and beat the Chiefs. But I still don't know why that was a Sunday night game at all. That was a noon game. You had Chiefs versus Eagles, should have been a Sunday night game. I don't know who put this on the schedule and punished us. I went to the movies. You know what I'm saying? I went to the movies and kind of just vibed out because I wasn't going to watch this full game. I was going to catch the film later. So, but we'll see what happens with the Giants.
I don't know why you had to say week 7. The Bills play them the next week, so of course you had to say week 7. That's when they'll be back to their prime.
Yeah, you don't have Rasheed Rice coming back.
Yeah, they'll be right back to prime. I've seen this movie too many times. This movie,
selfishly, I know you probably wanted them to get buried, but they kind of live alive, and we'll see what happens this Sunday.
Listen, I'm getting my mid-season Super Bowl this week, and I got a 1-2 Ravens going.
Y'all it's a cakewalk for moving forward, man. Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder what the catch is, and I got a feeling the catch is coming soon. So I'm enjoying it while I can. That's for sure. Jay Tugg, I think you mentioned something interesting here. You talked about how there were wrinkles for Jackson Dart within that Cowboys game as there were in this Chiefs game. The difference was that game was in front of a Giants crowd that booed Dable every time they took Dart off the field, especially when you're watching a game where it legitimately looked like KB with his jersey on right now was, in there playing quarterback. That's kind of how it felt when you put Dart out there and you have a fan base so desperate and so just so in need of something exciting, something to root for. It felt like it needed to be done. And that's the question I'm asking you here, KB. I want to know your thoughts on the game, of course, but did this have to be done? Do you agree with the timing in which it's being done? Your thoughts on the whole situation here in New York?
Well, we talked about this in the beginning of the season, kind of like our expectations on the season and when we're going to see Jackson Dart. And I said, as long as Russell Wilson plays well, we won't see him. And as long as the Giants play well, we won't see him. Well, Russell, besides one game where he put all his energy into one game, played well, but other than that, he hasn't. And the Giants are 0-3. So I completely expected a move like this to happen at some point around this time. It sucks that it's going to go against the Chargers, but it is what it is. But I completely expected something like this to happen if our season ended up being how it always is.
Watch y'all beat them.
Watch us. Hey, I would love it. Bro. Daniel Jones did the same thing. He started week 3. Nobody thought he was ready to start. He went out and won against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at that time. So, but this is a different team. This is a 3-0 Chargers team. So they're a lot better. They look really good. Justin Herbert's looking really good. But I'm excited for Jackson Dart. I am. I mean, there has to be some sort of spark in this team. As far as the game goes with the Chiefs, my goodness, there's just so much to talk about. We talk about Jackson Dart, Z-Bot. You mentioned how they were booing Brian Dable when Jackson Dart got taken off the field. And I get Giants fans. They want to see something new. They want to see the new era. They want to have some hope because we've been looking for hope in a guy named Daniel Jones who wasn't worth a damn with us, but now is balling out in Indianapolis. I get their frustration. My only thing is, like I said, I am excited to see Jackson Dart, but there are so much more problems in the quarterback position on this team that Jackson Dart will not be able to solve them all. Now, could he be a good Band-Aid? Sure, but you guys saw in that game in prime time, by the way, I don't know why the Giants keep getting primetime games. We've been terrible for a decade, and we always have like 5 primetime games a year. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me, and it's always against really good teams. But we saw it on national TV. Constantly, there will be opportunities for the Giants to come back in a game, even win the game, and they can't capitalize on it. You have a team like the Kansas City Chiefs who Patrick Mahomes throws 2 interceptions, clear interceptions to Paulson Adebo, just flat out drops the ball. On one of them, Paulson Adebo baited Patrick Mahomes. He baited him. He wanted him to throw that ball. Patrick Mahomes took the bait, and Paulson Adebo still couldn't catch the ball. And he was very sure-handed with the Saints, but you put that Giants helmet on, all of your talent just flies out the window. It completely gets drained out of you when you have that NY on your helmet. So things like that. Bobby Okereke, Patrick, how do you let a quarterback rip the ball from your hands when you have a clear scoop and score opportunity? I wanted to punch my monitor right through my hand, right through the monitor. My goodness. It's things like that constantly, and we've seen it in all of these games. I already played Rio's team. We already played J-Tuck's team. It's happened in every single game. The Giants cannot capitalize on our opponent's mistakes. There have been plenty of mistakes that both those prior teams made in those respective games, and the Giants did absolutely nothing with it. Andrew Phillips gets an interception last game. We go for it on 4th down because balls to the wall. We're just trying to, score as much points as we can, and we get no points on turnover. That's the type of stuff that we're seeing from the Giants, and it's from the top down. Coaching staff is terrible. We're not getting these players in position to make plays and capitalize on mistakes, and we find ourselves constantly fighting from behind. Whether it's the defense that's a problem or the offense is the problem, they are never in sync. It's never the offense is good and the defense is good. It's always one of them has to pick up the slack for the other, and it winds up being a loss. This is a pretty damn good, talented roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball. J-Tuck mentioned earlier, Jims and Joes over X's and O's. To me, it's scheme over team, baby. I have a different philosophy because we have good players on our team, and we can't find a way to win the game because our coaches don't have us in position to win those games. And the players obviously are not executing as well, but my goodness, you have an opportunity against NFC Championship a team like the Washington Commanders, and you have a Super Bowl team like Kansas City Chiefs, and you find yourselves throughout most of the game in position to win both of those games, even against the Dallas Cowboys, all 3 of those games, and you always find a way to lose. The Giants media has been running defense for this team. It's going viral right now. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, you got the Giants media, former players like, Carl Banks and Sean O'Hara saying, this is not a bad team, guys. All of you guys that are upset, they are better. You just can't see it yet because they're facing better competition. I'm tired. I am tired of this franchise. I am tired of the fan base. I'm tired of the media. I'm tired of the team. I'm tired of ownership, tired of coaches. I'm just, let's see what happens in Jackson Dart, baby. Let's see what happens in Jackson Dart. Give me some hope. Give me some hope.
If it makes you feel any better, only Patrick Mahomes throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage and just somehow winds up punching it out and getting it back.
Ultimate plot armor, bro. I don't know what it is. How do you rip the ball from an inside linebacker's arms? It just makes no sense. And what is it with defensive players you play football. You can't pick up a ball. Defensive players, they're allergic to it. They see a ball on the floor, and it's just like hot potato. I don't understand.
When you find the answer to that, let my defense know because
my goodness,
turnover if you gave it to us.
You see it. You see it in every game. You see a fumble on the floor, and the entire defense just. My God, it's so.
Not every game and not every defense.
Well, KB, you get another crack at another AFC West team this week, and like you said,
Fantastic.
It will be with Jackson Dart. We cannot wait to see that. Can't wait to preview that later on in the show. All right, let's wrap up Week 3 by talking about what we saw from the Dallas Cowboys.
Here we go.
What we saw was a defense that I need Jay Tuck to explain it to me. And I got a feeling it's going to be difficult because I don't know if anybody's got the explanation. I don't know if the Cowboys have the explanation, but at least Jerry Jones still thinks they're a playoff team, according to him, because of Dak. This is still a playoff team, and potentially it could be. It's unfortunate, though. Dak has to play MVP caliber football every week for this team to have a chance. I think that's going without saying here, especially when you're looking at this defense against a Bears and a Giants team the past 2 weeks who have struggled tremendously on offense. Go against these Dallas Cowboys, and Caleb Williams has his best day as a pro. Luther Burden's coming out party, 31-14. Chicago Bears win behind Caleb Williams, 19-28, 298-yard, 4-touchdown performance. Rio, what do you make of watching this Dallas Cowboys defense right now?
Yeah, man, that man Caleb Williams was back winning Heisman's in college versus Dallas the other day. Like, my goodness, y'all done fixed Caleb Williams. Y'all done took his yips away. Y'all done gave him his swagger back, and he moving different now. Now the league got to worry because Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, they still have the most awkward dynamic between those two people, and I'm still worried about the long-term success of that relationship. But good thing Dallas is on the schedule for him, man, because they tore them boys up on Sunday. They did whatever they wanted to versus them. That looked like the Lions offense that Ben Johnson has been orchestrating for years. Dallas can't get stops, and I couldn't believe it. I was happy to see it, but I couldn't believe that they were that successful that early, and it lasted through most of the day there. But good for Caleb and company. Caleb Williams desperately needed a week where he showed where the mental aspects of the game meet his physical ability, because physically he's as gifted as any quarterback that's out there, but there's a lot of mental lapses in his game. But like I said, the elixir and the medicine you need is that Cowboys defense showing up. It was not a fluke that rinsed, washed, and tumbled dry Russell Wilson put up almost 40 points for them boys the week prior, and Caleb Williams seconded that. They're looking like food out here. CD is hurt now. It might be Tuck might be joining KB on mock drafts real soon.
We already got him.
Yeah.
I already got two of them. I got J Tuck 151 Cowboys. They already got two of them things already posted, bro.
Yeah, adding salt to the wound, you mentioned it, Rio. It looks like right now CeeDee Lamb facing a 3 to 4 week departure from the team with the injury suffered in that game. Simone, what do you make of the Bears doubling up the Cowboys in week 3?
Boys will be boys, and little boys will be little boys. I mean, I don't like seeing Dallas like this when it's week 3 and they already talking pitiful talk. You know, I like them feeling like they got something going, and then, you know, later in the season or the playoffs, it gets snatched. So this is taking a little bit some of my joy away. But I mean, Dallas, it just looked like they threw in the towel. Like, now with the injuries, it's given lackadaisical play on the field. It's given like they not really into it. That was hard to watch. Dak was getting abused. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what's going on in the NFC East right now. Dallas bowed out. Still trying to keep my eyes on Washington. Are they gonna get back up? Giants. I mean, come on now. Y'all teams gotta step the bar up. Like, I'm tired of coming on the show being the only one with some real G you talk about every week. Like, what's going on?
Man, Simone's getting bored. Man. She's had enough.
I mean, they just over here sulking and ranting and letting all their therapy that shit out on their teams. Like, put some oomph back in y'all. Come on now.
KB.
Yeah.
Give me some oomph behind what you thought of that Cowboys-Bears game. Was it surprising that you saw the Bears kind of take it to the Cowboys defense the way your Giants did, or is this kind of what to be expected now from what Dallas is posing defensively?
I think the biggest thing right now is that Cowboys defense. I mean, I don't know how Dak, especially going to be without CeeDee Lamb for a while. I don't know how they're going to find a way to win games with that defense if they don't try something new or switch up their scheme. It is terrible. And the players are playing Trayvon Diggs, my God, he's bad. He's allowing 27.8 yards per reception, by the way. That's unheard of. I've never heard of that before. And shout out to Jerry Jones. Congratulations, Jerry. You stopped the run. Now you have no semblance of a pass rush at all. You guys cannot get to the passer at all. I just saw on Twitter not too long ago, Donovan Ezeraku posted up a 0% pass rush win rate. I've never seen that in my life. 0%. So shout out to Donnie there, the heir apparent to Micah Parsons' spot. But man, I don't know what Dak Prescott can do. He's supposed to be playing on an MVP level. If he does, I don't even know if that's going to be enough, especially if you're not going to have CeeDee Lamb there. I mean, they're still finding ways to run the ball sort of well. But like I said, their defense is like the biggest point of emphasis here, that you cannot watch that defense without a huge chunk play downfield. Caleb Williams was doing whatever he wanted to do. You had Russell Wilson getting away with being Russell Wilson and just saying, F it, somebody's out there somewhere, and just throwing the ball down the seam and finding a 5'8" wide receiver, Wan'Dale Robinson. They did the same thing in this game. They had a flea flicker to Luther Burden. Caleb Williams, just like Rio said, was like feeling himself. He was back in the groove of things, man. There's all the rust from his rookie season down to his college career just got shaken off with that Cowboys game. So, man, this is bad. This is terrible. I think it really says more about the Cowboys defense than the Bears. I don't think the Bears are good. I think just they had a good game because that defense. Matt Eberflus needs to be fired tomorrow. I thought Shane Bowen was terrible because he plays that bend but don't break defense. Matt Eberflus plays like just break defense and lay down and die defense. I don't know what he's got going on over there. I don't know why he thinks why he's not waning away from that, because if you watch it on film, everybody's open down the field. Everybody's open.
Everybody.
My God, it's you could throw the ball to 4 different receivers. They're gonna catch the ball. It's crazy.
Yeah, and those pass rush numbers you brought up are even more alarming when you factor in Caleb Williams got sacked 68 times in 2024, and Cowboys aren't able to touch him in this one. Jay Tuck, this has to be frustrating. Week 1, Dallas gives the Eagles everything they had, right? I mean, they were a couple maybe drop passes from CD away from potentially winning that game, a fumble in that game as well. Then you beat the Giants, and you don't know if that was just a good game for New York or maybe the defense had a bad day. Then you transition into this, and it's starting to become a theme here. So what do you make of all this, and what's the outlook moving forward here, especially factoring in CD's injury?
Well, I think this is where I might separate from most Cowboys fans, right? Even having this argument. But we talked about the Chiefs and the Giants last segment, so I'm going to steal a line from Taylor Swift for all my Swifties out there. It's karma. It's freaking karma when you trade away one of the most disruptive defensive players in the NFL for a defensive tackle and some futuristic picks. What do you think that was going to happen to your defense? The Dallas Cowboys got arrogant, and they felt like Micah Parsons was just replaceable, and you can toss in a Donovan Ezekaraku, because KB just mentioned that Donovan Ezekaraku had a 0% pass rush grade. He wasn't the only one. Dante Fowler, it was Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon, and James Houston. You had 5 players that were defensive ends that didn't get any pressure. They was able to hit you over the top with the most disrespectful, slowest developing flea flicker I've ever seen in all of my years of watching football. I wouldn't even run that on Madden because you wouldn't be able to get it off, right?
It was late too.
It was super late. It was a slow toss back. Like, we were all confused, right? But this is what happens when you let your arrogance get in the way and you felt like you can just make another Micah Parsons. Okay, Jerry, make another Micah Parsons. And now you're struggling. So now Cowboys fans are glimmering for hope that Jadeveon Clowney can come in and save us. Spoiler alert, he's not, right? So as of right now, we don't have a defensive front that can get pressure. Our corners are limited. Trayvon Diggs was a borderline scratch. He decided to play last minute. And then you have him playing man press with no safety help with Roman Dunze. That's just idiotic to me. You have Deron Bland still out. You have 2 high safeties and Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson, who came and cover me if I was up the seams. It's just a bad recipe for disaster. And with this Eberflus scheme, it's that bend but don't break. And we bending all right. We're doing a lot of bending to these NFL quarterbacks. So it's a recipe for disaster when it comes to our defense. And sadly, there's no way to fix it because we don't have any players that are high octane that you have to be aware of every down like we used to have when we have 11 on the field. So defensively, it's a struggle. Offensively, Dak is just doing the best he can, right? We lose CeeDee Lamb off an idiotic play. We're putting CeeDee Lamb back in single back formation, let him play running back a little bit, right? Which is completely idiotic, right? But Brian Schottenheimer stayed by it. But not only did we lose CeeDee Lamb, we already lost our starting center in Cooper Beebe, and we just lost our right guard, our rookie right guard in Tyler Booker. It is getting bad in Dallas. So now it's going to be Dak Prescott is going to put the cape on and try to find a way to turn water into wine. You know, you try to make George Pickens a wide receiver one. You hit him right in the hands. He drops the ball. It turns into an interception. Javonte Williams is playing well. Jake Ferguson had 96 receptions for 42 yards. So now you're in a situation where you don't have guys that are a threat. You don't have guys that can separate. Your defense can't even cover me out there. It's just going to be bad for the Dallas Cowboys. The only way that we're going to be competitive is Dak Prescott just continues to play the MVP level and just carries this team on his back. But I just don't see that being the case. So brace yourself, Cowboys fans.
Brace yourself indeed. The karma continues because guess who's coming to town this upcoming weekend on Sunday Night Football? Micah Parsons coming back to Jerry World under the lights. Sad. That's going to be something else. We'll preview that in just a second. Before we do, let's head on over to Sleeper and do our weekly picks. We got to keep track of how we're doing on these, by the way. I don't know if we're crushing or if we're not. I know on my end
definitely didn't hit last week. We definitely didn't.
If we would have took all those unders on the Eagles, we still would have hit. Because he didn't get over 220 to 230 passing.
Close, yeah.
What was it?
It was 228, I think. 227.
What did he get?
I thought it was 220.
Did he get 228? So he went right over it?
228.
Yeah,
man, you imagine sitting there at halftime, you would have thought you had that slip.
That's a bad beat right there, man.
That's what y'all get. Yeah.
Bad beat.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of those Eagles, let's take a look at the game against the Bucs. What a game that's going to be. Probably the best game in the 1 p.m. window this upcoming weekend. And what do you think, Simone?
Bucs.
Anytime touchdown for Saquon?
Passing yards. Again, we run it back.
Since I'm the captain this week, let me put on my
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I like that with the bird on it and everything. Custom made. The only play up right now for the Eagles game is Saquon touchdown. Is that safe to say we could put that one in there? What do we think?
What's my options, please?
I think that's the only
That's
option.
the only option. That's our only option.
Put it in there.
All right, I'm liking it anyway, so I think we're solid there. Let's put that in. We got Saquon with the touchdown. Let's take a peek here. We got the Giants taking on the Chargers. They got the dart numbers up. They got the dart numbers up, KB. Let's talk about it. 196.5. What do you think?
What's his rushing yards? They have him.
Oh, let's take a peek. Let's see. Rush yards.
That's the fun one.
31.5 rush yards for Dart.
I would take the rush yard, not the pass.
You liking that? Okay.
They're gonna run RPOs all game.
11 carries.
So you're thinking first start against that D, Harbaugh D, they're just gonna run him into the ground like right off the bat.
It'll be RPO, so he'll have the option to do it, but he'll definitely see his opportunities where he sees fit, and he's gonna take off. But and Dart is not afraid of contact. He's not afraid, so he will go. So
I'm gonna lock that in my damn self right now.
I am excited to watch that. I am. Let's go over to Atlanta taking on the Commanders. Right now, it looks like we only have, what do we got?
I don't know. We don't know who's playing. So just
if
Debo Samuel anytime touchdown or something like that, that's about the only thing I'm comfortable with right now.
Rio, I'm not even kidding you. They don't have a single Commanders prop up because I think of the injuries right now.
We don't know who's Debo is about the only person in the skill. Debo and Bill and our committee of running backs and Zach Ertz, they don't even got them up there because that's about all I know. I'll bet on some special teams. Shit, can we do special teams?
They literally got Brian Robinson and Drake London up there. I'll take a peek at my Bills. Let's see. James Cook anytime touchdown.
That's Bijan. That's definitely not Brian. Brian
what did I say? Did I say Brian?
He up there on the bench in San Francisco, man.
I'll make it easy on us. I'll give James Cook another touchdown for a fourth consecutive week. So I'll throw that in there for us. And
he's money.
Where am I looking here? We got one more.
I would take Bijan for a touchdown against us because he's dying to get back in the end zone.
All right, let's do that because the Cowboys game is not up yet. So let's just go back to that. Let's give Bijan, not Brian, a touchdown in this one, and we'll lock in our picks. We got our 4 entries. Saquon, anytime touchdown. Jackson Dart, more than 31.5 rush yards in his NFL starting debut. James Cook, touchdown, because why not? And Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown. Multiplier on that, folks, 6.3. Not bad for us.
We got no Dallas play on there?
They don't even have
the game up.
Dak Prescott passing over everything.
Micah Parsons sack numbers
crazy. Yeah,
hide
32.
the record. Hide the record.
They're probably inflating that number. That's probably a 1.5 this week.
Yeah, 1.5 sacks.
Right? But when that line comes up, you'll be able to throw that in your slip and the rest of the week 4 plays over on the Sleeper app. Make sure to use the promo code on your screen, RTS. That'll get you a 100% match up to $100. Once again, use the promo code RTS on Sleeper, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper in the link in the description today. All right, let's get after it. Week 3 in the books. Let's turn the page to week 4. 3 games in the 1 p.m. window. And, of course, that matchup with Micah Parsons in Jerry World on Sunday Night Football. Let's start with probably the best matchup on the board here, not only in the division, but potentially the entire weekend. I mean, I know the Chiefs and the Ravens play, but this still, to me, seems like it's the better matchup, and it is the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. The battle of the unbeatens. Only 6 unbeaten teams remain in the NFL, and one of these teams has to go down. Rio, I'll start with you. Baker, 3 straight wins where they have to score in the final 2 minutes to get it done. I think it's the first or second time that's happened since 1950. Philly, by the way, they're finding different ways to win each week too, so something's got to give here. What do you think goes down in Tampa Bay on Sunday?
This is the heavyweight matchup, and probably not just the conference, but in the league this week. And Tampa Bay has had relative success versus this Philadelphia team. I think I'm going to go with the reverse jinx this week. I'm picking Philadelphia, man. Like, they just keep finding, like, I know what this shit looks like, man. They got the blood magic shit working for them, bro. They just find a way to get it done. I'm going to pick Philadelphia to win this game. And, part of me wants Philadelphia to keep doing what Philadelphia do, because we got to get our shit together to keep pace with these. But I'm going to pick Philadelphia to get over their Tampa Bay woes. Their offense and their passing game. I think Simone said Jalen Hurts cussed out the offensive coordinator, and that was exactly what the team needed. That might have clicked and registered something with them boys. I think they're going to beat the Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers are just getting by, like, on the hair of their chinny chin. But that got to stop at some point. But maybe Emeka Ibuka is lined up with the corner that's not Quinyon Mitchell and has one of those days, because he looks like one of those ones. Already has like 3 touchdowns in the first couple weeks of the season. I think Philly wins it in a nail biter, and it's going to piss me off, but I'm going to pick Philly.
Pick us with your test.
And I'm going to pick y'all with the reverse jinx, man. Philly wins this one, man.
I like this analogy you keep using, by the way, Rio, with the Eagles kind of just stealing that magic elixir that the Chiefs had from beating their ass in the Super Bowl. So we'll see if that continues to happen. It's crazy. Yeah. Stole it in emphatic fashion, and they continue to ride it. 3-0, looking to go to 4-0. Rio's got them going 4-0. KBD, you got them going 4-0 against the 3-0 Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the Bucks winning here. I think the Bucks. They've done the best against the Eagles in the past. Like you said, they're 3-0 against them, and Baker's been on fire for these past couple of years since he's been with the Bucks. And they do find a way to shut down the run. And if you could shut down Saquon, that's half of the battle right there. You saw the Rams were able to accomplish that, but then they weren't able to keep up with the halftime adjustments. I think Tampa they've already beaten the Eagles multiple times, so they're going to be ready for any adjustment that the Eagles are going to make. So I'm going to take the Bucks here, but I think it's going to be another close one. The Bucks, like everybody said, has been kind of like barely getting by so far this season, but they have the talent to get things done and any given Sunday. So even though they barely beat the Jets last week, I still think they could beat the Eagles this week.
Mike Evans hurt this past week, by the way, for the Bucs. Didn't look good. We'll keep an eye on that. But Ibuka has been phenomenal his rookie year here. Really unbelievable. J-Tuck, what do you make of this heavyweight matchup between Philly and Tampa Bay on Sunday?
Yeah, you just mentioned. I think Mike Evans is the deciding factor for me. I think he's probably going to be out, so I'm gonna lean towards the Eagles winning this one. Tampa plays well. Mecca Buka's playing phenomenal. Bucky Irvin's going crazy. Baker Mayfield's doing well, and they do have a good solid run defense. But I just feel like Eagles are more battle tested than the Bucks. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles to win this matchup.
Even with Mike Evans in playing or not playing this week, like I don't really. They're loaded at receiver too. Like the Bucks are loaded, man.
Right.
Okay.
Man, Simone, I'll tell you what, if the Eagles get this done, what a start to the year. You get a divisional win over the Cowboys to start things off. Then you get 3 victories over 3 playoff teams from the previous year. Will they do it? Will they get it done this week on the road in Tampa?
Yes, of course we will. And obviously our schedule was very tough on the front end. So just the fact that we're starting off 3-0, that is huge. But y'all talking about all these receivers the Bucks have, please keep in mind, last year when we lost to the Bucks, AJ Brown was not playing and Devontae Smith was not playing. So we'll see how the Bucks do this time without their guy while we have all of our guys. So obviously I'm taking the Eagles this week. Mike Evans not playing is huge. I mean, sums it up right there. AJ Brown playing this year, Devontae Smith playing this year. The Bucks beat us last year with nobody. The last time they beat us was in the playoffs when we had the 31st ranked defense. Anybody would have beat us in that game. They beat us when Tom Brady beat Jalen Hurts during his second start. So there's a lot of context to the Bucks beating us these past couple of years. Dajie, all gonna change this week. Offense clicking, everybody on the flow. So Birds by 1,000,000.
Simone's got the Birds by 1,000,000. Let's see if we got the Commanders by 1,000,000,000 over the Atlanta Falcons. The Panthers quite literally won by 1,000,000,000, it felt like, over the Falcons this past week. Washington got it done over the Raiders with Mariota. We'll see if he gets the start again or if Jaden Daniels is back out there. But either way, feels like the Commanders should get this one done. Will they? KB, I'll start with you. Commanders, Falcons, who takes it?
Yeah, the Falcons are probably just as bad as the Raiders were, and you saw what the Commanders were able to do without Jaden Daniels. Rio said he doesn't know if Jaden Daniels is going to start or not. I don't think it matters, just like I didn't think it mattered last week. They're going to find a way to get it done. I'm happy the Giants didn't draft Michael Penix. And yeah, I'm going to take Commanders here, no doubt in my mind.
Everybody's out on Penix already.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen the stat by now. 0-4 when opponents score 7 or more. We'll have to see
That's
if
crazy.
the Commanders can
7
top
or
7
more.
points. I know, isn't that a crazy stat? Four games, which is like the biggest stat you see on all of Twitter. It's 4 games in, but 7 points is clearly the Achilles heel for Michael Penix. Will it be again this upcoming weekend, Jay Tuck? Who takes it, Commanders or Falcons?
Yeah, Commanders should float to this game to the Falcons. I like Michael Penix, but I don't think he was a game changer like some of the other quarterbacks in that draft, right? They do have to worry about Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts on occasion, but I think the Commanders should hell into this, even if Jaden is playing or not. So I got the Commanders win this over the Falcons.
All right, 2 for 2 on Commanders. Simone, you making it 3 for 3? You taking the Commanders?
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders. That was a demoralizing loss for Atlanta. At this point, I don't even know if they know who's playing. Is it going to be Kirk? Is it going to be Michael Penix? That shot of him walking off when he got benched or not benched, whatever they want to categorize it as, it was hard to look at. It was very much like a little loss of confidence. So I just feel like this is a tough opponent to come and try to have a bounce back game against. So I'm going with the Commanders here.
All right, Rio, complete the quad here. Tell me why your Commanders are getting it done against the Falcons on Sunday.
Yeah, we're just better than the Atlanta Falcons, and you can't lose to the team that had to scapegoat their wide receivers coach just because they needed a body. They needed to turn in a body this week, and it was Ike Hilliard. Shout out to my guy Ike Hilliard, one of our former wide receiver coaches over here in D.C. Raheem Morris and them, they needed a body to give the ownership. They fired the wide receiver. I don't know what he had to do with Michael Penix throwing pick six after pick six on Sunday in Carolina. Some of the worst telegraph passes I've seen. But yeah, we'll get it done, whether it's Jaden, whether it's Marcus Mariota. You find a way to get this team to 3-1 despite all these injuries and stuff. And we we're going to probably be facing an undefeated Chargers team at SoFi the next week. Just get out of there 3-1. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if it's close. I don't care who's at quarterback. Get out of there with a victory. Please refrain from adding to the injury list because it already looked like a CVS receipt on the list right now for the team. And let's go up to SoFi 3-1 so Jaden can go back to Southern California and have a family reunion, homecoming king style against Justin Herbert next week. That's it.
I think we already know where Rio's at on this upcoming game. I'm guessing you're thinking for the Chargers here, Rio. Tell me why in Jackson Dart's debut for the G-Men.
The Giants are a very stupid team, so it'll probably be closer than people anticipate, but the Chargers have no business losing it. But this league, man, you never know. It's so week to week. You never know, and they don't have tape on Jackson Dart yet, but it'll probably be one of those 24 to 14 games where it looks like there's a remote chance for the Giants, because the Chargers, as well as they play, they don't put teams away, and they don't necessarily put their foot on the gas. So the Giants will have their opportunities. I just don't know how much you can expect of a rookie playing a 3-0 team to start, and that defense, as vicious as it's playing right now, I don't see how they win this one. I'm going Chargers. And also, I want the Chargers to come in undefeated next week when we go up to SoFi, and it's a home game at their stadium. So, yeah, go Chargers got this.
3-0 Chargers, 0-3 Giants. Someone is getting a 1 in one of these columns this weekend. Simone, who is it going to be, Chargers or Giants?
Is this for real?
Yeah, it is.
Chargers. I'm not wasting nobody's time right here. Chargers.
I respect that. J Tug, I literally did the Insta jumbo box right there, right
there. Go the Chargers.
What is that creepy little thing you got going on back there? I'm scared.
It's my life.
It looks like a little Halloween setup or something.
Yeah, it's about to get spooky in here for us Cowboys fans. We're gonna have some decorations. We're gonna have some Jerry Jones skeletons. We got to hang all this stuff up here.
Yeah,
that's that evil Eagles elixir that Rio keeps referring to right there. That neon green just flashing in the background.
Voice activated, all sorts of stuff.
KB, Jackson Dart's first start in the NFL. Does he win it against the undefeated Chargers?
My God, I'll be so happy if Jackson Dart finds a way to win it. Like Rio said, like anything could happen in this league. We saw a lot of that last week. So I don't know. Maybe Jackson Dart gives us that spark that we need against the Chargers. Who knows? But listen, I can't sit here as a educated individual, or some might say educated individual, and say the Giants are going to win this game. I just can't say that. The Chargers look really good. They're 3-0 right now, all against their AFC West opponents, and I'm hoping this game could end up a little bit like that Chargers-Raiders game where it was close and they only won 20-9. I personally think the Giants are better than the Raiders. Who knows? But if we could find a way to keep it close and contain Quentin Johnston, because he's having like a revival of his career right now, if we could find a way to contain him, and maybe we got a chance, but I just don't see it happening. I think we can maybe score some points, but I don't think our defense is going to be able to do much. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have the Chargers winning.
It's going to be a fun watch either way. Get to see Jackson Dart, what he's got, what the potential future could look like for the Giants. All right, last but not least, Sunday Night Football. It is the Micah Parsons reunion. Packers on the road in Jerry World. 2-1 Green Bay coming off a stunning loss to the Cleveland Browns. Cowboys coming off of that loss to the Bears. KB, I'll kick it right back to you. Who wins the Micah Parsons Bowl Sunday night?
I'm looking forward to this game. I can't wait to watch.
I just love it. Look forward to our game.
Listen. I love watching. I've hated it. I've always, growing up, I've hated the Cowboys more than any team, even more than the Eagles. I know I was supposed to hate the Eagles more. I always hated the Cowboys more. And so this is going to be a fun one. The Micah Parsons gets traded to the Green Bay Packers. Their defense looks great. And then we don't have to wait till the end of the season. We can get it in week 4, baby. Micah Parsons back at Jerry World going against his Dallas Cowboys. So Jerry Jones gets to see what he missed out on. I can't wait for this. And on top of that, the Cowboys don't have CD Lamb. Like you really don't got a shot now. So I'm slamming Green Bay on this. Green Bay should not lose this game at all. There should be no reason why Green Bay loses this game at all. They should be coming to AT&T Stadium pissed because they just lost to the Browns. And I believe they did they lose another receiver in that game? I can't remember, but Green Bay needs to find a way to get it done. Listen, if we know anything the past 2 weeks from this Cowboys defense, you're going to get right against this Cowboys defense. Doesn't matter if you struggle in the passing game or not. So expect Romeo Doubs to have like 4 catches for like 167 yards or something like that. Like it's going to be nuts. So yeah, I'm taking Green Bay here. Green Bay.
All right,
If
KB.
the Cowboys win, what would be the reason why, KB?
If the Cowboys win, what would be the reason why? Dak Prescott just wills them to win with throwing to Kevontae Turpin. I don't know, or the Flower Boy. I don't know what his name is. That receiver, Floor or whatever. I don't know. Flower Boy. That's what I call
Flower
him.
Boy. Well, let's see if Flower Boy's got enough in the tank to beat the Packers this upcoming Sunday night. Rio, do you think the Cowboys got a shot here? What are you anticipating?
Yo, part of me actually feels like Dallas might win this game. Part of me because Dallas's main thing is they don't do shit with expectations, and not a soul in this world expects them to win this game on Sunday night. Everybody expects this to be Coronation Day and vindication for Micah Parsons, and he could very well go out there and have 3 or 4 sacks on Sunday night. But there's no pressure for Dallas in this game. I mean, obviously, it's another loss, and losses would be piling up, but nobody in the world is picking them, and there's nothing like Dak Prescott when there's no pressure. You know, when there's no pressure at all in the world, he might show up and have one of them 400-yard type performances. I don't know. I watched that team that played the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, and they look sweet. I know the Browns defense is not the Cowboys defense at all. All defenses were not created equally, but Dallas going to play this game's going to be a lot closer than people think. I feel like it's going to be like a shootout, like a high 20s shootout that Green Bay will get the edge, but I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas won this game.
I love it. I hope it's a good game, too. It's got all the makings for it. We'll see if it ends up being that. Simone, who takes it? Green Bay, Dallas.
Rio is spooking me this week with whatever he's doing right now. But I'm going to take Green Bay. Green Bay needs a bounce back after last week. This Dallas defense is not that Browns defense. And I saw they weren't going to do a tribute or show any love to Micah Parsons, which is crazy to me. Like, not doing anything, throw a little graphic up on the Jumbotron, nothing. So I definitely feel like this is a game where, one, the Packers have something to prove after feeling embarrassed last week, and then obviously Micah Parsons got something to prove. On the flip side, like I said earlier, I mean, Dallas is injured, and Dallas, they just don't seem like they really into it. Like, it feels like mentally they kind of out of it, and now physically they out of it. They got a lot of injuries, so I think Green Bay should get the win.
All right, J Tug, no one's got any faith. Rio's got a little faith, but not enough to pick them. Do you got enough faith in your Dallas Cowboys to win Sunday night?
I 1000% agree with Rio. Like, this is a game that I'm not nervous about. Last week I was kind of shaky even versus the Giants because I just know my Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys will show up Sunday night. This is what they get up for. This is the problem with the Cowboys. Sunday night football, everyone watching, everyone has their backs against the wall. No one believes the Cowboys can do it. They will show up. But my biggest problem is with the lack of defensive help. We struggled versus Matt LaFleur offense before. I think it's going to be way too complex for what Matt Eberflus has going on right now. I think that the Packers will win this game in a close one. If I did have CeeDee Lamb and I had Tyler Booker, I would probably slight more towards the Cowboys. With this game, man, No offensive line, no CeeDee Lamb, wide receivers that can separate. It's going to be a hard uphill battle. Micah Parsons going to go crazy, like Simone said. They already disrespect him. Now it's an ugly divorce. Cowboys fans are going to boo him when he comes out like he did something wrong to us. He ain't do shit but be an all-pro. And they're going to fire this man up. They're going to get him revved up. And that very first sack, when he puts that one up, it's going to break the spirit of every Cowboys fan in that building. I got the Packers win the game, and my wallet has them covering 6.5.
Ooh, wow, 6.5. That's what the spread is, huh? On the road too, no less. Damn.
But Dallas isn't a road environment. It's just like it's a neutral location because there's gonna be just as many Packers fans in the building as we. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna probably be out of it my mind by halftime, anyways. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm gonna be strolling off some Cowboy readers and just vibing. But it's just an uphill battle for the Cowboys. I don't think they have this one in them to get a win, but it'll be close.
Awesome. What?
Cowboy Ritas, the official sponsor of J. So whenever you come to Dallas for a game versus the Eagles, you got to get a Cowboy. It's a margarita and it's mixed with grenadine. It's tall. You only need one to put you down. I've had 3. You know,
hey, they got to leave with something when they come to the stadium.
Oh yeah, leave with something. Yeah, then they're expensive. They bought $25 a pop, right? But that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? So
that's something they sell.
Yeah, it's official. It's the official drink of the Dallas Cowboys.
That actually sounds phenomenal. I've never thought of a grenadine.
Cowboy Rita is fire.
That sounds great.
I got tons of Cowboy Ritas, man. They're talking about sponsoring me once. Let me see. I'll find you guys some pictures, but it's they're tall as hell. And 1, all right, 2, you're pushing it. You know, I've had games where I had 4 or 5, and it was.
Go ahead and get a 6 for me this weekend, Jake.
I mean, you can get top shelf. You can put like Patron in it. You can do all sorts of stuff that you want. You know, Jerry got you covered. You know, Jerry gonna vibe out there at AT&T Stadium.
Before we close up shop, Linda coming in with a super chat. Where are all my Jalen Hurts haters at today? Y'all was ready to start sending out your propaganda in the third quarter. Not so fast.
I think it was mostly Eagles fans that were losing their minds on Twitter, okay? And
call them out.
Nobody else was saying anything but Eagles fans on Twitter. They were crying.
Well, Linda's letting them know. We let you know. Look at that thing, by the way. Look at that. Is it frozen? Oh,
Frozen.
Oh, that's clean.
Yeah. Jerry gonna treat you right while you take your L's, you know. The fun part about AT&T Stadium, you don't have to go to concession stands. Oh no, baby, you just order these from your app on the phone. They'll come directly to you.
That's how he gets you, bro. That's how he gets you.
Right.
Look, man, we're gonna be down by 30, but we're gonna be out there vibing.
Hey, what them? You said them joints cost 25?
Yeah, about 25. Yeah.
Hey, bro, I'm surprised them joints ain't like 50, bro.
Me too. It's 25.
We got some new nachos up northwest, and them bitches cost $36.
That's
dog.
crazy, dog.
For some ain't no nacho in the
like
world.
18 just for the
they killing us. That's a whole other topic.
$20 glizzies at the stadium, bro.
Yeah.
I was in the suite last week for the game, and you'd figure in the suite that they'd have like complimentary stuff. The burgers were $20. I mean, you're not getting
in the suite.
In the suite.
Congrats for coming to the suite. Now run us.
I know. I couldn't.
Are you hungry?
You know what they did though? They had like a topping bar to make it seem like they were hooking you up. You know, you could put your own lettuce on, and it's like my God.
Start sneaking sack lunches in your pockets, man. Your cargo.
I'm telling you. I know. I took all the produce home. I'm set for the next couple of weeks. I'm solid. All right. Hey, that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks, everybody who tuned in to recap week 3. We also just locked in our week 4 picks, and a hell of a week 4 is around the corner. We look forward to being with you right where you are, right at the exact same time you were here tonight. NFC East Roundtable YouTube channel next Tuesday evening to recap week 4. But tonight, that's going to do it for us. Simone, J Tuck, KB, and Rio. I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in to the NFC East Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable, live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, Fourth and Forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.